Hello everyone, I am happy to report that I am finally feeling a little better. My voice is still not 100%, but most of the symptoms are gone, so I really wanted to come and spend some time in the garden. Danny and I are actually traveling upstate. We had this trip planned for a while now because we wanted to start setting up the garden for the wedding in July at the house that the little ceremony is going to be at, so we are traveling this week. And I'm feeling better. I'll still stay home for the whole 5 days as recommended because I'm vaccinated. And Danny thankfully did not get it. He has no symptoms and he's feeling great. So we are still gonna go upstate. I will be cautious and wear a mask and all of that. And I wanted to show you guys how everything is looking before we go up there. I have taken a bunch of stuff out here that I'm going to take with me, and I'll go over with you guys what that is. And I have done some plantings and something. So because I couldn't leave the house, I still did some mild garden work. I tried my best to rest, but I came out here and did a few things here and there because I can't stay in bed all day. But I'll show you guys what I did. The tomatoes are also doing great. They are downstairs on the grow light. I was also trying to make space for all of them after I separated everything, so I have a bunch of stuff here in the floor, and I think I'm even going to harvest a few things at the end of this video that we can take with us. But now let's take a look how things are looking back here first. Oh, and I have seeds in my pocket and I already have my things set up in there. I want to sow some seeds before I leave as well. I want to sow some basil seeds to leave in the grow rack. I left a space in there in the rack for my tray, and hopefully I'll come back to some basil seedlings when we come back. Let me start by showing you guys how the backyard is looking. I have tons of seedlings here in the ground. Those were inside mostly, but they're fully acclimated now. I've been taking them in and out during this week too. Those are snapdragons. I have some yarrow, some feverfew, some rudbeckia, poppies, all for upstate. So they're all cold hardy, and they will be traveling up with us. And I have a few things that I haven't decided yet. The rudbeckia I ended up buying. The Cherokee, the Ignatia, I ended up buying it. The variety I said I was going to buy for the wedding, and it took forever to germinate. They're still tiny, so I'm not sure if I'm going to take these or not. I might leave those down here. The status is looking good. A little bit too big. I might have to take this out or plant it before we leave. I don't know. I'm still trying to decide. But these snapdragons are the varieties that I talked about in the video that I talked about the flowers for the wedding, and those are ones as well. Same with the rudbeckia. I decided to start some extra yarrow just to put it on the property, and this is the Colorado mix variety, same one that I have in the plot. So that's looking good. That's all gonna be living. I made a lot of space in my grow rack, thankfully. I still have things in here too. There's some ranunculus that I'm going to take with me that I didn't have space for, and it is cool over there. We're just going to plant there and see what happens. There's some bachelor button here. Those are the pansies that I also started for the wedding. They are going to go upstate. And those are straw flowers. There's some more snapdragons in there. I was going to save some of this for the seedling sale, but they're getting too big, so I think that I might just plant them. I don't know, I'm not sure if people will be interested in this many straw flowers, but I have some extra ones here too. There's nothing in the greenhouse over there. It's a little messy. I gotta wash all of those containers, but I'll do that when I come back and gets warmer. Over here, the peas, those are other peas actually that I forgot to show you guys, but I had started those sooner and they're not looking very great. Those are some old seeds from the variety that I had. And I was planning to grow them for pea shoots, just to cut them and eat the shoots instead of eating the peas. We'll see how it goes. Those are the peas that I have soaked and planted on that last video update that I showed you guys. There's some here and some there in that container and some more in that container over there. Everything has actually sprouted. The GreenStalk here, the kohlrabi is going to seed, so it is bolting. We will not get a bigger kohlrabi now in the spring. It's just going to seed. I'm letting it, so we'll get some early flowers for the bees. My strawberry, check this out, it's flowering already. I think I put some compost on this already, and I did fertilize with fish fertilizer once or twice, I think, and that strawberry really took fertilizer. I didn't do it on this one. You can see the difference. This strawberry is much smaller, so I gotta fertilize this GreenStalk before I leave too. I didn't because I didn't have anything in there really, just those pansies that are overwintered, and I ended up putting this snapdragon. This thing here, I think I thought it was a feverfew, but I actually now think is a weed, some sort of chrysanthemum. I don't know. I'll see. I was waiting to see if I let it flower and to decide if I'll keep them there or not. But I love how the pansies are looking. They're so cheerful. They're all from last year, and I love how some are, still with the purple borders, and the ones kind of coming below the plant only has nice yellow with some specks. I really love those. Well, that's looking really nice. I also planted some of that mini broccoli, the one that was 30 days that I talked about on the garden plan. And I decided to put all here in the GreenStalk. It's supposed to be a 30-day broccoli, so I want to see if I'm going to be able to harvest broccoli in a month. But it's in there. It's going to be a quick crop before I actually plant warm weather season this GreenStalk. I want to plant beans and tomatoes in that one. And that's mostly it. I did plant some kale and a little Swiss chard on this. They were left over from my GreenStalk on the top. And a lettuce up here. I was trying to... This one is not on the spinner, just on the mover, so it's harder to turn. So I'm just going to get the camera around. The parsley is coming back. I put a little pansy in there. The lettuce is looking good. And there's some more kohlrabi on that side all the time. And... the lavender looking great. I'm not sure if I say that in the last video or not, but I moved the steers. This was on the top with the lavender, the mint, and the thyme. I decided to move it to the bottom when I was amending this and to leave those down there. And you can see that there's some scratches in here, but that's my fault because there's this little concrete thing there. And I tried to turn this without the spinner with the mover, and it's a little harder, and so this happens. But it's alright, because once these guys are full of plants, you won't be able to even see that. It just covers and gets all nice and lush green. And here I have some stuff from my pear tree. I decided to trim my pear tree, and I have like little branches everywhere. Check this out. I have some here outside. I put it here for the bees because I saw the first bumblebee of the season this week too. Oops. So they are all open. This was inside my apartment, so it got warm and opened up. You guys saw the other video last week too with some opened up. I have some more up there. There's everywhere, but see how tiny the pear tree looks now? We really decided to prune it hard this year because we're not going to be here for a month in the summer, and we don't want the pears all to fall and get all in the ground so the rodents don't come and eat it and stuff. So that's how it is. That's how it's looking now. We took the bike out. Finally, we can do some exercise, getting a lot warmer. And here is the ranunculus. Look how much it has grown. The stalk, it's growing pretty fast now. This one is kind of budding already. I don't think it's super healthy. The other ones don't look like they have buds, but that one is winning the race, I guess. And they are all started to get tall and put some nice growth. The peony, it's looking nice and big now. One should just stay down there. I'm not sure what's going on. And only two came up. I don't know. But I'm very excited for this ranunculus. Hopefully, in a few more weeks, we'll start seeing some buds in here too. I put some snapdragons in here, and I also planted out the lisianthus. Lisianthus lives in here now. Hopefully, these squirrels don't dig them up when we're gone. There's one dahlia that I started from seed in there. It's a seed dahlia. It started too early, but it's gotten too big. It's a little cold for dahlias too, but I decided to put it here because it's just getting huge downstairs. So in the basement, I planted. I'll see how it goes. And then there's a few extra seedlings. This part's shady on my backyard, so I just put a bunch of little flowers or extra stuff in there to see if they're gonna grow or not. But the squirrels have been super active lately. I don't know if you can really tell, but the back of this bed, which I'm saving space for the dahlias, is all messed up. It's all dug around and there's holes everywhere. This morning, one was really going the GreenStalk like crazy. We had to keep starting to scare it out. And there's some diggings on my pots, and here too, some here. It's just like everywhere. These squirrels are crazy this year. I don't know if they're always like this in the spring and I forget about it, but they are driving me insane this season. It's like dirt everywhere on my seedlings. At least they're not planting anything so far. Okay, let's check out the GreenStalk now. This is the side that's not looking very great because I have my perennials. They're supposed to come back, but they're not really. I ended up putting some like radishes and stuff in there, but let me show you the nice size of the GreenStalk. Look at that. Look how beautiful it's looking. It's growing so fast, those chives. They're out of control. They started budding, so we're gonna have some chive flowers soon. And I'm actually gonna harvest this today to take with us upstate. And I wanna take some mustard and some arugula too. So some of this mustard is huge already. This is insane. We planted this like 3 weeks ago and it's already this big. But I'm gonna cut up some mustard, some arugula. Actually, I'm gonna show you the ones that I wanna do it specifically. Ah, the squirrel. Ah, you can see it's full of dirt in my arugula. I know last year they didn't really come to the GreenStalk, but this year I guess they discovered no more clean greens for me. Oh, I was so excited last year. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I know what I'm actually gonna use the insect barrier on this. I'm gonna put the insect cover so the squirrels don't dig. I can see where they dug over here in the hole. And it keep them clean, because no, they're not very clean here in the city, the squirrels themselves. So if they keep rubbing to my greens, that might not be a good thing. So I'll wash them well this time and probably cover with the insect cover, sorry. But this is the two that I wanted to actually harvest. This tree here, I'll cut it, take it out, because the ones down there are not growing very much. I think they were the weakest seedlings, you know, when I was placing them here, but also those guys are growing too big and kind of shading them. So I'm gonna take out the chives, cut the chives, and I'm gonna cut and trim the mizuna, the mustard, and the arugula, wash them well, and take it too with us. But other than that, this squirrel is stressed. Someone actually commented on one of my videos too how I deal with the squirrels, and they're just, I don't, and they drive me crazy. So I should probably try to do something more effective. But yeah, this is the update with the beautiful GreenStalk and full of lettuces and beautiful purple bok choy. So here I have some sweet peas, not edible peas. Those are sweet peas for cutting for flowers, for bouquets, and they're starting to grow very nicely. I planted them super early, and check this out. See this branching in here? There's 3 nice strong sweet peas growing. I did not pinch this. This was because of the cold, because I planted them super early. I showed you guys since the beginning here the updates. They have branched heavily, very nicely, and they, look at this one too, into thirds, and they're growing super nice and strong. They probably have very nice roots too. These little ones here in the front, they were direct seeded. It's the same variety. I direct seeded to have a succession planting. Let's see how that works. Hopefully it's not too small of a container for them, but I'm happy with the progress so far. Same with this that has been messed up by the squirrel, as you can see. Okay, so this is also early planting of sweet pea, and this is only one plant, not pinched, and this going branching into 4, this one into thirds, just from the cold. The cold did the pinching, so that's pretty cool. It's a nice experiment to watch. I did this because I saw it. That's why it recommended to me in the little instructions of the seeds from the seed company that I got it from, and it's definitely working. I'm happy with it. So there's a straw flower in here, and my thyme is coming back. Finally, it's time for thyme. I cook a lot with this thyme here, so I'm very excited that it's coming back, because it's just in time that my dry thyme is running out inside, so it's perfect. And then I have some oregano coming back here too. The chives on these pots are not coming back as strong as the ones in my GreenStalk. So, I don't know. Maybe they need some more nutrients. I will put some, I did put some compost in here, but then I maybe have to do some fertilizer, because the spots, you know, they're not as big, they don't hold a lot of soil. But that's mostly it for the outside. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and harvest this now and get it washed and out of the way before I start those basil seeds. So I'm gonna go inside to get a basket and get a little scissor to harvest them. Forgot something. You see those 2 little things there? I left like this, so I remember, and I forgot. There's a basil here and a nasturtium from inside, and I left with those little shovel here, so I can actually plant in the GreenStalk, because I wanna some of those perennial gaps that you guys saw. I don't like looking at them, so I might plant those too where they are. But let me harvest everything first, and then I'll do it all together. Okay, I'm gonna start with those chives here. I'm gonna just cut. I want to avoid the little buds because I do want them to go to flower. I love the chive flowers too. But I'm just gonna trim it up as much as I can. Oh, I did one bud. Oh well. It's good enough. Maybe I'll take these one here. And I want to do the other chives and also the arugula and the mustard. Okay, and then for this two over here, the squirrels are up here, but I'll wash this well. I'm just gonna give a haircut like this. It looks a little scary, but they're gonna grow right back. And I wanted these guys to try to get a chance of also getting some sunlight. So all of these here are gonna just get trimmed, and they will grow back by next week probably. Oh no, I lost a few. Danny is helping me film this. Danny, want anything else from the GreenStalk? You want to take some more mustard?
Mm-hmm. Smells good.
Smells good. Spicing it up, the arugula and the chives is really good. This first harvest from the GreenStalk. It looks very nice. And I'm gonna take a bunch of little flowers actually with us too. Maybe I'll do a garden focaccia again, like I did last year. So I'll take some of these pansies. They don't look super great. I'll take a few of them. And then had the rest, so when we come back, we're gonna come back to more flowers. I have already been doing this and they have been just keep opening. I'll take some of the red ones. And I'll take definitely some of those yellow ones down there. Those are very pretty, all of them. But I know it feels kind of sad to cut them, but the more you cut, the more they produce, so it's actually good to harvest them. I'll take all the open ones, and there's tons of buttons already. Oh, those are so pretty. I didn't even have to plant this. Amazing, the ones that just come back. I love it. I might pick some more of the pink ones. They do look good. So many! Okay, so Danny's actually going to help me out with that lettuce. He just took it inside with him. He was gonna wash it all so we can pack to take it with us. And now I'm going to start some basil seeds before I go. So this is some basil for our garden and also for the seedling sale because I have lots of people requesting kale, tomatoes, and basil. I know it's a little late to start this basil, but you know, I was planning to start it last week and I kind of forgot about it. And also, I didn't have space downstairs until I took everything out and put it in here. So hopefully it'll be big enough by May or Mother's Day when I'm planning to have the seedling sale. So here are the varieties that I'm going to start. I got this new one that's from Joni's and it's called Everleaf Thai Towers. So this is supposed to be slow bolting. And Thai basil is my favorite basil to eat. So I'm planting this for myself and I have some extras in case people want to pick it up for the seedling sale too. I'm trying for the first time this year cinnamon basil. Because I'm growing flowers this year and I'm watching so many flower farm and garden channels. Most of them suggest to do cinnamon basil for cutting for flowers to make this bouquet smell nice. And they have nice strong stems with purple flowers, which I think is very similar to the Thai basil, but I'm actually curious to taste it. I want to cook with it and see how it tastes like. I read it's popular in Mexican cuisine, so I am growing some of that too to try for cutting and also for eating. And there is some dark purple basil that I have already started. Like, give me a second. I have all of this already. I don't know if you guys remember in the first show that first flat of snapdragons that are all now planted in the plot. had some basil next to it, so I transplanted those and left them, not transplanted, I potted them into this container and left them under the grow lights, and now they're huge like this, and they've been acclimating outside, so they're dark. They got much darker, but this is this variety here, the dark opal basil, so I might plant some more. It smells so good. I might even actually pinch them and take some upstate with me. But these are very popular. Everybody that came in my garden last year wanted some of this, and they all were tasting it and taking some. It was really good. So I might do some more of that too. And then I have some just regular sweet basil. This one's a fun one I also grew last year. This is called purple ball basil, but it's kind of more like a Greek basil, the one with a small leaf. And then I have lemon basil, so good smell, and lime basil. I make tons of tea with them, and they're used for cooking. They're so good. They smell amazing. And I have some holy basil that I'm planning to do for tea. I also have some extra cilantro. I have some cilantro popping up. I just noticed in the pots from last year, but I think I wanted to do some more. I have already prepared my soil. I have this guy here, and I put water underneath already, so it's kind of wet. It's not when I plant. I wanted to do this as fast as I could. I'm all set up here, and then I just need now to make the labels and sow this. Basil seeds are very small, so I kind of surface sow them. It says here in the package just a 1/4 inch, so you can put a little bit of dirt in it, but not too much. And that's it. I'm going to sow this whole flat, and hopefully they will germinate by the time we come back. So I'm actually going to show multiple seeds per pocket, because basil is good to kind of grow in clumps. They're very easy to divide and separate, and they grow well together too. So I'm going to just like sprinkle a few seeds so the bunches look nice and full. Oh, there's a lot of seeds on this one. This is the lemon basil, a lot more than the lime basil. Kind of want to throw some of the seeds on my raised bed too. Direct sow some. Alright, all done. I will cover this with my dome and take this inside, and we will leave inside until we come back from upstate. I have the grow rack downstairs hooked up to a timer, so I don't worry about it when we travel. What I like to do, I would just make sure I water everything on the bottom trays. I'll sometimes put a little extra water in there, but those are all small seedlings, and especially those ones with seeds, they not get dried out as fast. So I did this already when we went there for another weekend, and it was fine. And here it is. Oh, I also started my zinnias this week. I completely forgot to mention it. It's downstairs too. Nothing has sprouted yet. These seedlings, from my experience from last year, can take a little bit longer to germinate. Zinnias could be fast, but because it's a little cooler down there, I'm not gonna put anything on a heat mat. They will probably take maybe about a week, so they might not even be up by the time that we come back. But I'll leave them there with the dome, well watered, and we'll see how it goes. We'll check back when I come back, and I'll show you guys. Tomatoes are down there too. I'm gonna make sure that I water them well. They have all been separated, and they are mostly in individual little pots, so they should be fine too, because they have more soil on them, so they will not dry out as fast. So that's it. Next time I'll see you guys, I will hopefully be upstate. We are planning to take the camera and show you guys the whole process. I have to start other gardens there kind of from scratch. There are some beds in there, but they haven't been used, so we will take you to the whole process, I hope so. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time. I forgot, as I was walking in, I saw the nasturtium and then basil again, and just realized that I forgot to plant those. I'm not gonna film myself doing it, but I'm gonna go ahead and plant this together in this GreenStalk somewhere to also clean up this mess that I made while I was harvesting earlier.